My name is Peggy Flathman. I am the superintendent of the Fridley School District, and I am very, very honored to serve this school district. And today we have the opportunity to thank some very special people that make our work easier and the work of helping our children and families. So this is, last year I think we did a little video presentation, and we've got another one today, thanks to our communication specialist, David Weber. And this is just the reason why we are here today. We've been talking about the why all year, and this is it.
Help us practice reading books. Being a volunteer is important because it really helps people, and sometimes people just need help and they can't do it by themselves. Miss Ryan is smart and kind because she helps me understand the book, and she helps me sound out words, and she makes learning fun. It's someone that helps someone when they're doing something and they can't do it right now because they're doing something else. My volunteer helps me learn new things. When we ever need help, they help us. So if we're stuck on a word and we don't understand it, like in a book, if you don't know like how, someone can help you do it. Miss Debbie helps us with the sight words. People that volunteer are being nice. They made us a card when they leave, and they give us some cookies we can eat. I love how Grandma Nancy treats us nicely.
You are a good influence. She teaches me nice stuff.
I like that Miss Magically helps me how to do math. She cares about me. She is talented. She is a pretty woman. She likes to make me laugh, and she likes to see me.
It makes me feel happy when I see her a lot of days. We talk about our feelings of what's going on, like trips and fun activities and what we need or what we want and stuff.
They help us a lot. Like, what happens, like if we have to talk to them about something, he's always there for us. If we have to like get something off our chest, seeing them really makes me happy. And you know, it's like I'm not very much of a social person, and with them I get to socialize a lot, and they don't judge us.
She will let me talk about my day, and then if I have any problems with a book, like for the words, some of them were in like some Spanish words and I didn't know how to pronunciate it, so then she would help me with that.
They are there to guide the students, and they're there to like lead us, to develop us into future volunteers who will do the same thing for their communities.
Being a person involved in community theater during the summer and during the year at Fridley, volunteers have really been the basis of what makes this program what it is. Without them, we wouldn't be able to have the beautiful sets and the beautiful costumes and have the staff and creative team that push us to become the performers that we have become.
As a football player here for 4 years, the Booster Club family really helped us out with lots of things. Like they gave us some food to get ready to go for the game. It made us feel hydrated, made us feel great, and also like they loved us and cared about us too. Especially the parents, like they were like crazy great, and we loved them.
I've been part of the community theater for 4 years now, and the board of volunteers have really enriched my experience with theater.
I guess like you can say like she helped me find like my heart to serve. I think initially when I joined Key Club, which is like the club she helps out with. I was really shy about like volunteering, and like she kind of just like brings out like the best in us, even if like it's like really awkward. She's just like, she's so uplifting, and I love her attitude.
I'm gonna say thank you again so much, like for everyone, the Booster Club, the Gerhardt family, the Championship Club. I really appreciate you guys. You guys done a lot for the team, for the parents, for future kids coming up, and I really appreciate you guys so much.
Thank you, Ms. Ryan, for everything. Thank you for helping us in our classroom.
Thank you, volunteers.
Thank you for volunteering. Thank you, Miss Nasty.
Thank you, volunteers, for everything you do. You know, you make the community a better place.
Thank you for volunteering.
Thank you, Crazy Mary, for volunteering.
You are helpful, Miss Ryan. Thank you. Thank you for helping me learn. Thank you for helping me with numbers. I love Miss Ryan. Thank you. Thank you.
Come on up, Stevenson volunteers. Could you be my holder and hold this? Okay, I'm going to give you, this is my assistant. All right, you can tell we have a lot of help here, and we have a lot more that weren't able to be here, but our volunteers do everything that you'll see as we talk about, from grounds to working with kids to working in the office to working with teachers. So I'm going to take these in just the way they are here, all right? And Shaniqua's not here. Oh, I'm sorry. Betty, good job. Good job. All right, Doug, come on up here, will you? Doug helps out in Mr. Bell's classroom. He just does anything and everything around the school that we need, from working with kids. Friday, he just finished tilling up the pumpkin patch. He got that ready for the spring. He brought his garden tiller in and just does a jack of all trades thing. Now we have to shake his hand. Can you shake his hand? Thanks, Doug. All right, next up is Ashley. Come on up. You know her, don't you? All right. Ashley, on our PTO, she's on our PTO board. We have a small group of people that do a whole lot of work to get ready for our carnival in the year, in the spring of the year. Always pulls off to be a great event. She goes into Mr. Dower's room. Dower again. And anyhow, I know she packs his Wednesday folders, works with kids, and basically is his assistant for a day, every day a week. She's on the same day. You gotta shake her hand now. Can you shake your mom's hand? Other hand. Nice. Thank you, Ashley. All right, next up. You can't say Paul without Ruth. So Paul and Ruth, come on up here. Way up. All right, hope I'm doing so well when I get to be your age. These guys are very active in our school. Starts with, they were supporters of the bedtime math program, but what they bring to our school is passion. Passion for math and physics, but really just driving us to want to do more with kids. Paul comes in, works with a 4th grade group, boys, and has a passion to get algebra, and he'll come into the office and say, God, I got him doing quadratic equations right now. I said, gosh, we're getting it. I mean, just the passion that they bring and the desire to make a difference is truly remarkable, honestly, because they could be sitting on a beach right now somewhere. Ruth, very similar. I mean, they do everything together. Come in on the same days. Ruth works with a girls group. Same thing, only her passion is word problems. Perimeter math, and works with the group twice a week. And again, just has a passion to make a difference in kids' lives and is willing to put in the effort to do it. So just outstanding people. All right, next up, Mary, come on up. Mary. I forgot her. She came in here one year. I don't know how many years ago it was. And I looked. I didn't even know who she was. It was really embarrassing. So I've never forgot her since. But she has a daughter, Becky Thompson, who works in our room. Quietly comes in often and does whatever Becky needs her to do, whether it's working with kids. I know you come in on those days they make the pies. Whenever there's a special event in our school and teachers are doing something out of the norm, she's there to help the grade level and Becky. So thank you, Mary. Thank you. Can you shake Mary? Karen, okay, hold this one. Someone had to stay home, right, Pat? Yeah. Pat, come on up. Pat McCoy, again, very active member on our PTO, is in charge of our box tops this year, very active in our carnival. A couple of years ago, we planted trees through Tree Trust, brought a bunch of trees into the school, and Pat led that project along with just making sure those trees were taken care of throughout the summer. Really, he's just about anybody up here, when you make the call and you say, hey, we can use some help, they're stepping forward to help us. So thank you, Pat. His wife. Yeah. Oh, she's got to go. Come on. Yeah. Michelle, come on up here. I've been at Stevenson 10 years, and Michelle has been there even longer. Former student. Of course, you're probably at the back here. Here you are. All right. So Michelle here has been she's a student at Stevenson. I don't know how many years ago, a long time ago. And like I said, I got here 10 years ago, and she has been there ever since. Works with Kim Gardner, working with special needs kids in our gym through part of their Phi Ed program. And again, works after school with kids. She's just around kids, helping with whatever is needed in there. All right, next up is, Doug's not here. Here you go. You want to hold this one, bud? There you go. Carol, come on up here. Carol Thornton, again, has a third grade daughter in our school. You can tell that wherever Carol's around, there's a smile to be had. Just brings a lot of a welcoming atmosphere to us. Again, Carol's the kind of person that you can just call and say, hey, we need help with something, and she steps up and does it. Whether it's with the carnival, he and Andrea's third grade classroom, just we'll do whatever we need done. Thank you. Sue, not here. Nancy, come on up here. Nancy is a kindergarten volunteer, works in Jen Tusignan's classroom, comes in, sits one-on-one with kids, and works on letters, numbers, and sounds. So you're good at it.
I'm Grandma Nancy.
Grandma Nancy, she's known as. So Nancy, we appreciate you coming in. You've been involved in our kindergarten program, and we look forward to you staying, following those kindergartners. Thank you. All right, Nia, come on up here. Nia, first year at Stevenson, first year volunteer, came in with the storm with our carnival. Just, again, carnival needed some help. Nia stepped up, did all the basket stuff this year. And for those of you at Hayes that do the basket stuff too, you know that those baskets are a lot of work. Getting everything, and then once you get it, you've got a room full of stuff that needs to be dealt with. And she came in and took that on, and just we had a great carnival this year because of people like you. So thank you. Here's Debbie. A couple of those kids in the video were Debbie's kids. Again, comes in working with kids, letters, sounds, numbers. There on a weekly basis. And so, Debbie, thank you for coming in and working with our kids.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, thanks everyone. And again, we're just blessed to have all of the help that we get from you guys. Thank you.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Dan Roth. I'm the Activities Director, and Kelly McConville is with me, the Assistant Principal at the high school. Patty Awesome, our principal, has a meeting that she had to be at, so she couldn't be here. How's that? That sounds weird. But watching the video and seeing the elementary, we're up here at the high school where kids aren't quite as cute. And quite as lovable, and that's nature's way. And I'm here to tell those young parents that they're still watching, and it's sinking in. And I talk with parents about this a lot, is that when you get to that age, you got to do it because you see the bigger picture, because your kids don't say, hey, thanks for being there, Mom. They're usually kind of, if they even acknowledge you, that's a good day. And so, they're just kind of grumpy, and they're trying to figure it out. We had a couple of our most articulate ones there speaking on screen, but usually it's a couple grunts, and that's a good thing. But the stakes do get kind of high because we know them a little longer. They've got their friendships are getting stronger, and good and bad, and the presence of parents is really significant at that age, and oftentimes parents think they're not supposed to be there. And I'm here to just encourage you to stay involved, because I always tell your kids are watching. And they watch, and they tend to do what they see. And what I think Nick, he expressed it, he says that we learn how to then be volunteers in our community later. So I just want to be encouraging. So thank you all for what you do. We just have a few people here today, and if the activities people could come on up. Do you know you're here for us? Yeah, come on, Mary, you're in this crew too. Yeah. That's why you're so special. You don't know what group you're in, you just go. So first, I have Tammy Allen. Tammy, come on forward here. Tammy has been extremely helpful over the years in specifically wrestling and football, and she's got a cross-country runner too, and there's some behind-the-scenes work. I'm sure she's really fun, she's smart, and kind of knows how to navigate and fill in where kind of gaps are needed. And specifically, my most memorable is she's really good on the score clock at the wrestling tournament, and she's good at needling officials. I was officiating once, and she got a good one on me, so that was funny. But thanks for all you do. We have the Bowers, Tamara and Chris. They have a senior, just like Tammy, that's graduating, and so we've been through a couple children now, and it's kind of they've been just staples in all the different boosters of the sports that their children have played. And a couple behind the scenes, Gabe kind of talked a little bit about it, but they feed our football players before games, and so they're there. These people have to get off work, get the food there, they prepare it, and the boys come in and eat, make a mess, and leave with maybe a couple grunt thank yous. But they do it with a smile, and I think they have fun doing it. And one of my greatest memories is Chris being a ball chaser for soccer games, and he was always willing to fill in because we never quite have enough ball chasers. So thank you for that, you guys. And we have Mary Bowen. like Daryl, I came here 10 years ago, and I think one of the first people I heard about was Crazy Mary. And that is an honor, that name, because she got it because of what the kids call crazy, and what it really is crazy love. And it's crazy love for kids, and she has taken our Key Club, and we are internationally known and at the top level. We'd be like the perennial state champions if this was a sport. And it's because of the vision and the love and the care that you give to that program. So thank you very much.
Miss Hall, come on up. Come on up. We've got a couple Hayes staff joining us this morning too, and we're going to recognize some of our volunteers. When we begin this journey of identifying volunteers, it's amazing how long the list is. We probably have 100 parents that come in and out of our building, or relatives or friends working with kids. And as we watch the video, we can see a number of things that volunteers are doing. And this morning we've got a few classroom volunteers. We've got a volunteer that's been incredibly faithful with our PTO over the years. One of the things that I notice when I watch these guys working with kids, you ask what do they do, it might be easier to ask what they don't do because the list is shorter, right? There's all kinds of things that go on, and one of the most compelling things that happens with these guys is the relationships that they build with kids. And they're life changers for some of these kids. I tell our staff on a regular basis that if we don't come through for our kids, we may be the only ones that have that opportunity, and these guys step in the gap for us and fill in those places, and are working with small groups of kids and individuals and strengthening literacy skills and math skills. It's just a great thing to watch. So how about if I just kind of talk, and I'll pass the certificates out in a second. We have Lena right here in the end, and Lena's been with our PTO for a long time, and she has really been handling our spirit wear, right? And that's been a huge thing. If you see the giraffe sweatshirts around town, that's Lena's work. She's been owning that for several years, and it's been a huge blessing to our PTO to have that organization. Casey and Pam and Andrea all work as classroom volunteers in our school in different grades, doing a variety of different tasks for teachers. Pam is actually connected to the young lady on the end, mother-daughter team going on in 3rd grade. So Pam will be in on a regular basis working with small groups of kids in Heidi's room and things like that. So, and then we have our secretary, Julie Bienick, here too. Would you help me with this? Why don't you hold that, and I will present these. So Lena, thank you for your service, your volunteer work. Appreciate it so much. Next. Andrea, go. Thank you so much. And Casey. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm Toni Kraft, and I'm the Director of Community Ed. And this morning I'm here to recognize the Fridley Community Theater volunteers. They are not here. First of all, theater folks, 7 a.m. meeting, it's not the best mix. But we do have auditions tonight, so I will see them this evening. We'll probably be in this same room doing auditions till about 9 this evening, so I'll be presenting their certificates to most of them tonight. But I still want to come up and recognize them. So we have 10 volunteers that are on the Community Theater Advisory Board: Eric Carlson, Debbie Dahl, Karen Holdgraffer-Berry, Christine Houchins, Deborah Johnson, Tom Larson, Tom Peets, Connie Thompson, Kendra Tilbury, and Dan Mold. 4 of those are founding members of Fridley Community Theater, so their vision sparked Fridley Community Theater, which is a program of Fridley Community Ed. Since the Community Theater was established in 2010, we are working on our 8th musical for this summer. We've done 5 dinner productions, and we're working on our 4th youth production, so 17 shows altogether. So a small group that has done a lot. 3 of them are alumni. 2 have graduated within about the past 10 years. One is an alumni from about 30 or 40 years ago. So that's kind of fun. And 6 of them are parents of either current students or parents of alumni. So a lot of connections with Fridley schools. They're a strong team of talented and dedicated folks. They're committed to creating opportunities for individuals of all ages, whether on stage, behind the scenes, or in the audience, to actively participate and or appreciate the performance of live high quality theater in Fridley. The enthusiasm of this group amazes me. It generates so much to the individuals that work with us as well who participate. We had a few of the students in the video who talked about it. I wish we also could have had adults, because we have people from young children through 80s that audition and participate. So many thanks to this group of dedicated volunteers who helped us engage so many people in our community in the arts. So thanks to them.
Good morning, thanks for being here, everybody. If I could call the middle school volunteers up, that would be great. I'm Matthew Shane, the principal at the middle school, and I have my colleague, Danielle Peterson, the assistant principal, to help us with this process.
Is that better? Okay. Hey. I'm going to start with a quote that I've said before, but it's, I think, a very pertinent quote. Our perspective at the middle school, our definition of an at-risk student is any child who walks our building and fails to develop a caring relationship with a caring adult. So once again, any student who walks our halls and fails to develop a relationship with a caring adult would be our definition of an at-risk student. The first 2 gentlemen I'd like to talk about contribute to diminishing that number. They also get the Persistence Award. Jim and Brian, want to slide down this way, Jim? They've been a part of our volunteer reading program for years. They come every Wednesday. Some of the students in the video talked about how much the person they meet with on Wednesday is more than just somebody reading to them. They were speaking specifically about these 2 gentlemen and the others who come. And it's only possible through the volunteers who support it, and they make a huge difference, as you saw in those students, just their readiness to learn as a result of the relationships that develop. So I want to say thank you to both Brian and Jim for their service and support. Let's talk about Gina next. So Gina's on her 2nd run as a middle school parent. Survived. Yes. We had a parent, an awesome parent who's also helped with our volunteer program, who had done our kickoff event every year for a long time. And she was stepping away because her kids were gone, and Gina happened to walk by and was foolish enough to stop and talk to me. And I said, "Hey Gina, I have this great idea. Would you be willing to help out?" It's a massive undertaking. And Gina had some help, but really took it, she got a pretty organized plan and took it to even another level. And it's an event that we start our year with in August, where families get to come in and students get to come in, get pictures taken, all their getting back to school stuff done. And it matters tremendously because it eases people's minds. It makes the transition for students easier, it makes the transition for parents, and the move from summer back to school much smoother. And Gina made the entire process much smoother for us. And so we can't say thank you enough. Thank you, Gina. Jan just volunteers her overall awesomeness. You know, she shows up with donuts some days. She shows up with bread. Hey, I made these bars. I thought you might want them. I have one colleague who will be sitting in a meeting and he will say, you know, like, he will be spiritually in tune and he will say, "Jan's coming." And he'll start salivating. It's fascinating. Jan's just an amazing person, parent, and colleague and friend. Any way she can help out, she's always willing. It's truly an open invitation. Anything you need, just let me know, and we know we can call on Jan. So I won't point to one thing. I'll just point to her general service and support of all that is Fridley Public Schools, and at times specifically Fridley Middle School. So thank you, Jan. Mr. Niewald is also coming to the end of his experience as a middle school parent. I don't know who was foolish in the start of the conversation, but somehow we started talking about a huge project. And John said, I have an idea for that. And so John really invited us in to participate in what is the Redeemer Day of Giving, Serve-A-Day. And he came to me talking about, you've been talking about this courtyard project you want to do, and it's massive. And we had Home Depot lined up to help us with it a few years ago, and then it kind of didn't happen. We weren't able to see it through to fruition. John had heard kind of the stories and the ideas and came back and said, hey, what if? And based on that simple what if conversation, we ended up one day in the midst of a downpour. It was truly a monsoon, moving 70 tons of brick and cement out of the courtyard and 45 tons of gravel in, with a fleet of volunteers from Redeemer, some staff, some students, and just people who were willing to commit. And it was incredible. People were working their tails off. And it only happened because of the partnership and the friendship and the constant support that we get from John and from Redeemer. And so I have to say thank you. Julie Bennick was a huge part of it, who you saw up here earlier with John Pietrowski. But as a result, we ended up just this week with a outdoor concert on the stage in the courtyard. And it's attributable exclusively to the partnership and the friendship from Redeemer. Thank you, John. One more round of applause for the middle school volunteers. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Amy Cochran. I'm a principal at the ALC. And just so for those of you that don't know, our Area Learning Center services our 15 to 21-year-olds in the district that need just an alternative way of learning or doing things. And a really key component of our program is making sure that we're supporting students, the whole child, and really their social emotional side of learning so that they can then focus on their academics. And so we rely very, very heavily on volunteers coming in from the community to bring that component into us. And so with me is Rachel Johnson, and she's a youth service advocate. So she comes in and works with our students specifically around healthy relationships and how to build healthy relationships, peer relationships, that might be relationships with their parents, just in the kind of any aspect of what that looks like. And then with that, she obviously builds relationships with our students herself. And so our students look forward to her coming at least weekly. They look for her. They rely heavily on her. She is their cheerleader and really their advocate. And so we are grateful for her and all of our volunteers that come in to help our students with that social emotional side of learning. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. When you think about all the work that is done, and you are, Jael, how many people were nominated overall? 100. So you are just representative of 100 people that were nominated, and there are many, many more people behind the scenes. So thank you so much for coming. I think those kids said it the best about thanking you and how much they love you. And, volunteers are really just love in motion throughout every day, everything that we do. We work with a gentleman named Dr. Holly, and one of the things he talks about is in order to reach kids, you've got to love them outrageously. And, regardless of who they are, what they do, we need to just keep loving them outrageously. And you are an inspiration for us to continue that work as well. So thank you so much. As I said before, there's more food. So, enjoy this beautiful day. Thank you again.